Hello and welcome back to History for Atheists. As we begin another year, I thought I'd do my annual year in review for 2023. And I'm also very happy to announce the return of the Crappy Golden Orrery Award. I instituted this award for the most ridiculous and egregious example of bad history by an anti-theistic polemicist back in 2021 after I foolishly clicked on an online ad for a reproduction of an astronomical orrery that was supposed to look like this and instead turned out to look like this. So I decided to make the best of this and make this cheap piece of crap into the perpetual trophy for the Crappy Golden Orrery Award. So after a bumper crop of nominees in that inaugural year, there were fewer good bad examples in 2022. So last year this most unprestigious honour went unawarded. But it seems that was not a sign that the tide of atheist bad history is turning, because 2023, unfortunately, saw plenty of examples. And I'll go through the nominees and announce the winner in just a moment. First, a few notes on the traffic to History for Atheists. As in previous years, my articles on how Easter is not pagan in origin, how Christians didn't burn down the Great Library of Alexandria, and how Halloween is also not pagan, continue to be the most popular overall on the History for Atheists site. Of the articles I published in 2023, the one on the myth that Al-Ghazali killed off Islamic science was by far the most read, followed by my notes on the atheist blogger P.C. Meyer's realisation that Jesus' mythicism is wrong, and then my article on the myths around the closing of the Athenian Academy. The History for Atheists video channel now has almost 4,500 subscribers, which isn't too bad for a channel I literally produce here in my living room and where the host is not constantly badgering viewers to like and subscribe, because I find that really bloody annoying. The podcast version of the channel show saw 11,700 downloads, which again is not too shabby for a podcast that I really don't promote in any way at all. I like to keep things pretty low key here at History for Atheists. So many thanks to you and all the readers, viewers and listeners for your support in 2023, and I hope you found the content useful. But now to the unesteemed nominees for the 2023 Crappy Golden Orrery Award. Inevitably, a lot of atheist bad history happens on Twitter, or whatever the hell Elon Musk is calling it this week. So our first nominee is the account that dubs itself The Skeptic, despite cluelessly and unskeptically accepting any claim so long as it's sufficiently anti-religious. In January 2023, this person posted this bonkers meme that claimed the Bible was written and voted at the Council of Nicaea, and assuring Christians that their God won by 4 votes, and claiming the alternative would have been the worship of Mithras instead. Every element of these claims is utter nonsense historically, but the person who styles themselves The Skeptic posted it with a comment that we should research on this, and insisting that everyone should learn facts and history, both things they didn't actually bother to do before posting this complete nonsense. Around the same time, the British TV personality and Professor of Public Engagement at the University of Birmingham, Dr. Alice Roberts, engaged with the public by assuring them in a tweet that much classical scholarship was destroyed by the early church in acts of what she called book burning. Roberts is meant to be a public educator and has qualifications in anatomy and medicine, but has come to think this means she can comment on history for some reason. She's also a former president of Humanists UK and has a quite miserable track record in making stupid pronouncements like this one, as well as refusing to be corrected by actual historians or anyone with a clue about history. She was challenged by several people, myself included, to produce evidence to back up her claims. She failed to do so. When I noted that this was not exactly what one would expect from a professor of public engagement, she blocked me, because of course she did. Less esteemed, but no less impervious to correction, was a certain Imtiaz Mahmood, seen here with some bloke called Dick, who is a Twitter user with 189,000 followers and who describes himself as an atheist, anti-theist, free thinker, and an unapologetic and staunch heretic. Mahmood is also highly creative when it comes to history, declaring that Jesus is a fictional character created by the Council of Nicaea. These guys are obsessed with the Council of Nicaea, though not enough to actually look at what really happened there. 2 minutes on Wikipedia would suffice. Mahmud also declares the crackpot amateur theory of Joseph Atwill that the Romans created Christianity is completely true, and that the virgin birth, Jesus as God, the Holy Trinity, original sin, forced conversion and holy wars were all invented by St. Augustine and then adopted by the Nicene Council. This would have been quite a remarkable feat given that the council was held 25 years before Augustine was born. Despite these bonkers claims, this tweet was retweeted 619 times. Thankfully, Twitter's new community notes feature, one of the few additions to that site which is actually useful, corrected Mahmud's fantasies and errors. But while all these nominees are entirely worthy, the winner of the Crappy Golden Orrery Award for 2023 has to go to a nominee whose ignorance and stupidity is matched only by his persistence and indefatigable boneheaded obstinacy. I'm talking about the biochemist and self-described skeptic extraordinaire, George Stiles. No, that's not George Stiles, that's Eric Zoolander. Can we get a picture of George Stiles? Yeah, that's it, thanks. Posting multiple times a day to his 43,000 followers, Stiles, who prides himself on his grasp of critical thinking, logic, philosophy and science, chose to post at least once a day for most of the year the statement that Jesus never existed. All efforts at explaining why almost no scholar holds this position, or the difference between the concept of a historical Jesus and the Jesus Christ of faith, or anything on historiography, source criticism, or even the basics of what evidence we could expect for a first-century Jewish preacher, had absolutely no impact on this skeptic extraordinaire. He used the power of his qualifications in biochemistry to dismiss any and all counter-arguments and pour scorn on the very discipline of history itself, as not coming up to his high standards of logic and scienceness or something. Despite this, he also felt qualified to make further remarkable historical claims. For example, in December, he polled his followers asking, "Do you think the Vatican doesn't want things like Paul's letters and its historical collection carbon dated, because then it will all be shown to start at the time of Constantine and the Council of Nicaea and not the alleged time of Jesus?" God. This is a veritable Gordian knot of confused assumptions, errors of fact and misunderstanding, so tightly entangled that it's hard to know where to even start unpicking it. And note, this is the third mention in our nominees of the Council of Nicaea. What is this obsession with fantasy versions of that event? If you want an indication of the kind of person who takes George Stiles seriously, 89.5% of the respondents to his poll voted yes, and was sure the Vatican knows this carbon dating of alleged hidden documents would completely debunk Christianity. Truly, we live in an age of the stupid. Of course, it's pretty clear that Stiles was trolling with this kind of daily dose of provocation, but it's also clear from his responses and his persistence that he genuinely believes this stuff. And this is because, in fact, George Stiles is a fucking idiot. So congratulations to George Stiles as winner of the 2023 Crappy Golden Orrery Award. He had some stiff competition and no less than 3 others with crazy Council of Nicaea theories, but he won through sheer persistence and brain-dead obstinacy, which just shows you, boys and girls, you can achieve anything if you stick at it despite everyone yelling at you that you're a total fucking moron. So, have a happy new year and see you again here soon.